slap it. Yes. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, we are going to be playing around with some more color, and I'm really excited about it. You guys know my last summer drugstore makeup tutorials very much focused on the color orange because I've really been into it. I did a look with green, and today I really want to play around with some blue. So I'm really giving you guys the entire color story here. Now, the only product that I will not be using from the drugstore is this liner here. It's by Makeup by Mario. It is in the shade Rich Blue, so it is a very pretty, intense, rich navy blue shade that I'm going to use on my upper lash line to smoke it out. But I know several drugstore makeup lines that carry dark blue liners, so I'll list some of my favorites down below. But other than that, all the products I will be using today are very much affordable. Again, I have everything listed down below in case you guys are interested in checking out those products. So if you guys are new here, make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, and turn on your post notifications. Typically, I do try to upload every Monday and Wednesday, but sometimes my schedule changes around. So if you want to be notified when I upload, that is how you are going to get my notifications. So with that being said, let's stop talking about nonsense. Let's talk about makeup. So let's zoom in and let's get started. All right, so first things first, we got to prime the lids, baby. So to do that, I will be using the P. Louise Base 2. I freaking love this stuff. And while it cannot be found in the drugstore, it can be found within Morphe stores, and it is fairly affordable. So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna prime my lids. So now that my lids are nice and primed, I'm gonna go in with the Blue Moon eyeshadow palette by ColourPop. I've used this a handful of times, but I really wanted to revisit the palette and create something very fun for spring. So I'm thinking I wanna put like the powder blues all over my lid and then do like the royal or maybe even the navy on my lower lash line. So we'll see how things come together. I'm gonna start off with the shade called Moonlight. Ooh, this one's loose in the pan. I'm taking it on a big fluffy brush because I do want this to be very soft and diffused. So this is how I'm putting it on at first because I want this to be very nice and blended in my crease. Just like that. And then I'm also going to flick this out a little bit. So I'm gonna bring it right out here because I do want to go for more of a cat eye. So I don't want this to be like a circular eye shape. I'm really just taking this and going like this. Ugh. I'm so obsessed with like powder blues right now. I feel like very pastel shades, like all of the lid, like a good wash of color is very much in right now. I drew a lot of inspo from Pinterest actually. I will have some pictures listed right here in case you guys want to see where I draw a lot of inspo from. Typically, whenever I sit down and create looks, I try to create a lot of different mood boards, or I draw a lot of inspo from like celebrity makeup artists or fellow influencers and stuff like that. And whenever that is the case, you guys will definitely see me mention them down below in the description as well as within the video. So one thing I will say I really love about ColourPop is that they have something for everyone. If you're into color, if you're into neutrals, there's a little bit of something within the brand for any and everyone. I do personally feel like though they need to kind of slow down on their launches to give people a chance to actually enjoy what they're putting out. But I mean, I can't control what they do. I will say it's a little hard for me to keep up with them sometimes, but this palette here is gorgeous. I am getting a lot more fallout on this eye than my other eye because I'm kind of just going like really quickly just to get it in there. But if you take your time, you won't really get any fallout. So the next shade I'm gonna take from the palette is just a little bit deeper than this one. It's called Starry Eyed. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of this into the crease to give some dimension to this powder blue. It's not really meant to add too much dimension, but it's just gonna add a little bit of depth to give it something different. You see what I mean? Look at that, that is gorgeous. So then with the smaller packing brush, I'm gonna pick up the shade called Moonlight, and I'm just going to make sure it's nice and opaque all over the lid. So now that I have that blue all over the lid, I definitely wanna go in and soften up the lines and just the color a little bit. So the way I'm gonna do that is by going in with a clean brush here. Again, no additional product. You really just wanna soften up this color on the lid. Now don't worry if it starts to look a little messy in this outer part. We haven't even gone in with concealer or brows or anything like that. So there's definitely a possibility to tone this down a lot more than what it already is. It just looks really funny because all I have on is like blue eyeshadow, no brows, no foundation, really no nothing. So just stay with me. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some kind of cream concealer, a liquid concealer, anything that you have, and I'm just gonna carve out underneath my brow here. After I have that concealer there, I'm gonna take the opposite end. By the way, this is just a Luxie brush. I wanna say this was a part of the JD Wadey 180 like nose contour collection. I'm not sure if that's still around, but that's the brush I'm using. And I really love it. It's one of my favorite brushes, but I'm just taking this concealer to bring that blue down and just give it a better blend. This definitely is a hack. It's like an old hack that I used to do when I was first getting into makeup, because I would notice that I would blend my eyeshadow way too high up, and this was like the best way for me to just bring it down without completely ruining my makeup. I'm also gonna take whatever concealer I have left right above the brow here, and I'm just gonna use this to sculpt it out before I go in with my brow product. So because I did just shape my brows with that concealer, I'm gonna go in with my NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen, and I'm gonna use this to just draw some strokes through my brows. This is also going to give it some fullness and just make it look like a lot more put together. So now that that's done, I am gonna go in with some of my Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dew Drops. You guys know I have been loving this, like so good. So I'm gonna take some into my hand and I'm just gonna work it into my skin. For me personally, I just really love how tacky this is on my skin. Like, it feels so good and it gives my skin such a beautiful glow. Now, I did have a little bit of product on before I started filming, but it's pretty much gone now. This is what my skin looks like. This is literally my skin. It's cleared up so much, and I cannot wait to share with you my updated skincare routine. It is going to be not sponsored whatsoever, so products that I use on the daily, products that really help clear my skin. I'm gonna give you guys all my tips and tricks, and I'm just really excited about it. It's how I essentially cleared my skin naturally, because I feel like there's a lot of people who still think that I got on Accutane, but I didn't. I chickened out at the very end because to me, I really had to sit down with myself and I'm like, look, Accutane cannot be the end all be all for me. And because I'm 29 and I want to have kids in the near future, I wasn't comfortable getting on Accutane because of the side effects and things like that. And I really just didn't want it to affect my pregnancy years down the road. So listen, I tend to overthink things. If you guys know me in real life, then you know that is me through and through, an overthinker. So in addition to using the dew drops, I'm also gonna go in with some of this by Milani. This is the Soft Focus Glow. It's a complexion enhancer. I'm going to put this all over because I want a very beautiful luminous glow. I did this in my makeup routine a couple days ago off camera, and I just love the way it turned out. So essentially, I'm just putting this all over. If you are oily, I would probably steer clear of like your T-zone and stuff like that. But baby, honey, I want to glow. So again, I'm going ham with this. So for foundation today, I will be using the NYX Born to Glow foundation. I recently started using this again, and let me tell you, my makeup has been looking incredible. The shade I'm using today is Nude. It is pretty much a perfect match for me. I'm gonna just take it onto my finger, and then I'm gonna start buffing and blending it out with a brush. Now the brush I have been loving for foundation is this one right here by Real Techniques. This is the Instapop face brush. It's so big and it covers such a large amount of real estate. I know I said this in a previous video, but it's true. It's one of my favorites right now, and it just, look at that. It really blends that product into the skin beautifully. Before I go in with concealer, I definitely want to add some smoke to my upper lash line. So the way I'm going to do that is by using this eye pencil by Makeup by Mario. It's in the shade Rich Blue. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm lightly and just very carefully going to take this alongside my upper lash line. And you guys know how I love to just line my lid. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do in this case. I'm not going to take it all the way in. I'm going to do more of like a cat eye wing. Especially with this eye shape, it's gonna look beautiful. Just like that. And then I'm gonna flip the brush over because this has a built-in smudger. And I'm just lightly going to smudge and diffuse out the lines. I'm just gonna take an angled brush now and I'm gonna use this to just soften up that gel eyeliner. And the reason I like to lay down gel before I actually go in with powder is because I feel like the longevity of it just lasts a lot longer. What I'm doing now though is I'm taking the shade called Clued In on an angled brush and I'm using it to just diffuse out that liner. And then I'm also going to somewhat create a wing with it, but I want this wing to be smoky, soft, and diffused. So I'm not going in with the gel crayon liner. I'm just using eyeshadow for this step. With a little smudger brush, I'm just gonna lightly soften up this wing. So at this point, I'm gonna take that brush that I used before and I'm gonna use this to blow out this outer part. Now don't worry if you get it down here, I haven't gone in with any concealer yet. So we could easily clean that up before we go in with the concealer and it will look like really pretty and just like together. I just find that I have to do this step first in order for everything to just kind of come together and just look very seamless. So my next step in this routine is going in with concealer. You guys know this is like my dynamic duo right here. Love it so freaking much. Like saying I love it would actually be an understatement, but this is the original camo with a little bit of the hydrating. So I'm gonna take this underneath my eye. Well, this one here is just hydrating because I find more of the hydrating just works for me better. And then just a little bit, like a teeny tiny bit of the original camo is like perf. This cocktail slaps hard. Y'all gotta get on board. I'm just gonna take my brush and I'm gonna use it to just buff and blend this out. I noticed the other day when I took this concealer like right up here on my nose, like, and blended it out, it looked beautiful. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So to buff and blend this out, I like to take a damp sponge. This is just a damp beauty blender. And then I'll take a little bit of the cocktail of the concealers that I use underneath my eyes, saturate it in the sponge, and then I'll go in and I'll use it to really start buffing and blending out this concealer. And I'm telling you guys, it gives me the prettiest finish underneath the eyes that I've ever seen. And I always go in with some concealer on the sponge first because I notice that when I don't do that, the sponge kind of picks up the concealer and it's not as seamless and flawless. So I have to start it like that. Then with that same Real Techniques brush, I'm just gonna use this to blend my foundation in with the concealer because I don't want it to be like so stark and white underneath the eyes. I definitely want it to just melt in to the rest of my makeup. But so far, so good. I'm really loving the way that this is turning out. So another thing I'm gonna make sure I do is go in with some of the Neutrogena Hydrating Stick Foundation in the shade Cocoa. I'm just gonna brush it onto my brush here, and I'm gonna use this to cream contour. I've been obsessed with this method of doing my base makeup. If you guys watched my last video, then this obviously looks familiar, but I'm telling you, my base has never looked so incredibly flawless. So another product I've really been loving is this powder here by I Heart Revolution. It's in a peach shade, which I like because I feel like it really helps cancel out any discoloration underneath my eyes. And I like to set my under eyes when my eyes or my under eye concealer is a little bit dry. So not when it's like sopping wet. And I'll look up and then I'll just take this directly under there. And I will tell you, this gives me such a beautiful like airbrush finish. And I really love to push powder into the skin. And I don't necessarily like to bake anymore. I remember back in the day I was so into baking, but now I'm just like, not my thing. I really just love to press this powder for more of like a flawless finish. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back into Moonlight and a little bit of Starry Eyed, and I'm just going to run this on my lower lash line. And I really just want a wash of color here. I don't want anything too bold and dramatic because I still want to keep the eyes very soft and like that powder blue color, and I want my navy blue liner to really be the focal point. So I'm just going to go in with a smudger brush and I'm just going to lightly soften and diffuse out this shadow. Now for me personally, I really thought I was gonna go in with that Revlon eyeliner I talked about in the very beginning of the video, but I don't think it's something I'm gonna do anymore because I don't want this look to be too bold and like in your face. I may even go in with this in line like my inner waterline, but I don't even think I'm gonna do that. I think if I do anything, I wanna go in with some kind of white in my waterline because I feel like that will really set everything off and it will really play off of like the powder blue eyes. So I think that's what I'm gonna do instead. So like I said, I am gonna play off the white for this look, and I'm gonna take a white into my waterline just to open everything up. So another thing I think would be really, really gorgeous for this look is incorporating the cake liners by ABH. I know I've been talking about these a ton on my channel, but if this is your sign to get anything, it's the cake liners. Like both of them are going to be gorgeous all of summer, and you can even use them next summer, and I just think they are staples, but I'm not gonna do that because I do want to still keep this very much wearable. What I am gonna do though is I'm gonna take a little bit of the shade called Lumi, and I'm gonna put it in the very inner corner just to add a little bit of shine and really draw forth the light to the very inner corner. She's cute. Oh my God, I haven't done a look like this in so freaking long. I'm definitely feeling the vibe. I am gonna go in with some affordable lashes. These are by Salon Perfect. I feel like I talk about these a ton on my channel, but these are the $6.92 winged lashes. And what I love most about them is that they're super, super fluffy. So they're really gonna add that drama to your look. They definitely remind me of like Lily lashes with how fluffy they are. As you can see, I get very good use out of them. I bought like 2 more packs the other day, but I don't know what I did with them, so I'm just going to pop some lash glue on these, and we're just gonna roll with a used pair today. Then I'm gonna go in with the Big Bad Lash Mascara by Revlon, and I'm gonna coat my lashes with these falsies. I'm gonna be real, I didn't think it was at all possible for me to love a powder blue look this much, but anyways, I'm gonna go in with some powder here. This is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Creamy Powder Foundation. You guys know I have been loving this powder recently. I'm gonna use it to set the rest of my face. As you know, we did go in with that cream bronzer, and you can see it added really, really beautiful natural looking shadows. So I'm lightly gonna set that, and then I'm gonna re-intensify it with a powder bronzer because we're really going for that drama today. The powder bronzer I'm gonna use is this one right here by Essence. This one is so pretty. It's in the shade 01 Natural. I love it because it's very, very natural on my skin, and it's never like too much. I also find that it's very light and very much buildable. So I could really apply it in such a beautiful and diffused way. Look at that. Just added a very, very nice wash of color to the face. I find that going in with a cream like contour stick or a foundation like we use today, and then going in with like a powder bronzer, it's very, very easy for it to get intense. So on those days where I want to set down that cream product, I will go in with something like this because it's so easy to just lay on top, and it really doesn't get any more intense than it already is. It really just sets everything down. I'm also going to take some of this alongside my nose because we did put some of that cream there, and this is really just going to bring everything together. Look at that. Oh, she's cute or whatever. So for me personally, I do gravitate more towards like peachy blushes, but today I'm really gonna play off the pinks because I feel like pinks and blues just go so well together. So I'm gonna use these pinks here in this palette. This is the Vanilla Peach palette by BH Cosmetics. I used this a couple of videos back. And I mean, even though I used it a couple of videos back, I just want to recycle it and use it again, just in case some of you guys picked it up. It's such a versatile little blush palette here. Speaking of blush, did you guys see Jacqueline's new blush collection? Like, honestly, I'm dying to get my hands on it. I cannot wait for it to launch. So for blush, I'm gonna go in with this. I have not used this in so long. This is by Revlon. This is the Skin Lights Prismatic Highlighter. This is in the shade Daybreak Glitter. Daybreak what? Daybreak what? Daybreak Glimmer. I'm going to take that same brush that I used for my blush, and I'm just gonna go like this. I want it to be very, very soft and diffused. I don't want like a streak of highlight. I just want a soft and diffused highlight. Look at that. I'm also gonna take a little bit onto my nose, down the bridge. Even though a lot of you say this is distracting, for me, I love it. Gotta have it. So I definitely want to keep the lips the same tone as the cheeks, so I'm going to opt for a pink lip today. I will be using this right here by LA Girl. This is the Ultimate Intense Stay Auto Lip Liner in the shade Nonstop Nude. I'm just going to lightly line my lips with this, nothing too crazy. I don't want them to be too overly defined. So a little trick I like to do, especially when I'm going in with lip liner and I don't want it to be too defined, is I'll go in with a pencil brush and then I'll lightly soften up my lip line. For my actual lip color, I'm gonna use the Flexi Slick by Ofra. This is in the shade Stretch. And I'm just gonna tap a little bit on, and then I'm gonna blend with my finger. And just like that, babes, this right here is the final and completed look. Let me tell you, this is the prettiest powder blue smoky eye for summer. I definitely recommend that you guys try it out, recreate the look, and tag me over on the gram. I also love the touch of like a smoked out navy liner paired with my outfit. I'm just wearing like a navy pantsuit and it's such a vibe. I paired it with a baby blue bag as well. So this is the whole last look. I just finished taking some pics for the gram. I'll insert some here, here, and here. So let me know your thoughts. I've honestly been having a lot of fun sitting down and just playing with color for summer. So I definitely want to play around with more colors. So let me know what colors you guys want to see next down below in the comments. Like, my creativity is flowing and going, and I really just want to put it all out there. So leave me your recommendations. And if you guys have not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Make sure you guys press that subscribe button. Also, give this video a big old like if you enjoyed it and you want me to film more videos just like this. And with that being said, I don't have much else to say except I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. And until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces. Ching, ching. Goodbye.